My name is Betty Feng, and today we're going to learn more about hazards and hazard definitions. Let's get started. The topic we're going to discuss is hazard definitions. Please be noted that the information provided in this module does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice. All available information and content and are for general informational purposes only. The field of microbiology includes diverse organisms from different domains of life. Pesticides, fungi, yeasts represents eukaryotic organisms with a nucleus within their cells. They may be unicellular or multicellular organisms. Bacteria are single-celled organisms that lack a nucleus. Viruses are actually not living organisms as they are obligate intracellular pesticides. Collectively, these diverse organisms are termed germs, microbes, microorganisms, bugs, among other names. Microorganisms are important in a number of fields, including medicine, agriculture, chemical, and food industries. First, let's talk about physical hazards. Foreign objects are the most obvious evidence of a contaminated product and are therefore most likely to be reported by production staff or by consumer complaints. However, they are also less likely than chemical or biological contaminations to affect large numbers of people. When identifying physical hazards, it is important not to confuse the quality issues with the physical hazards. Some of the physical hazards examples are listed here, including bones, metal flakes or fragments, and so on. There are many sources of physical hazards can contaminate your food products. First, raw materials can be a source of physical hazards. For example, if you are using almonds in your food products, shells might be present. These pieces could cause damage to teeth if incorporated into a product or consumed. It is important that supply chain controls are established to minimize physical hazards in incoming products. Poorly maintained facilities and equipments can be a source of physical hazards. Improperly maintained mixing equipment can result in metal-on-metal contact, and metal fragments could be generated during the mixing process. If you are packaging in glass, you also need to be careful about glass fragments too. Employees are often a source of physical hazards. They may accidentally drop materials into the products. This might include pens and other materials they utilize for record keeping or production. Adhering to GMPs can help to ensure that other physical hazards like jewelry, buttons, fingernails, and hair doesn't end up in product. Here is a table providing a bit more details on the most common physical hazards of concern and the sources of those contaminants. Chemical hazards. There are three major chemical hazards we want to cover: naturally occurring chemicals, intentionally added chemicals, and unintentionally added chemicals. So some of the naturally occurring chemical hazards including allergens and shellfish toxins, mold toxins, and mushroom toxins. Intentionally added chemicals So sometimes we would say that we have to add some chemicals to products to enhance the flavor, the color, or even use as preservatives. The regulations control the levels of use and maximum allowable residues of certain chemicals in foods. When they're used properly, they're safe. But if they're used improperly, they can be hazardous. Some examples of intentionally added chemicals including some preservatives, the food coloring, and some supplement nutrients. Unintentionally added chemicals, substances that are necessary in the production of foods or cannot be avoided with CGMPs. And FDA establishes tolerance or action levels for specific commodities. For example, environmental introduced chemicals like heavy metals. So those are unintentionally added chemicals. So there are some potential preventive control for the three hazards that we just talked about. For biological hazards, we can use process controls that can kill bacteria, kill other pathogens. Process controls that prevent the growth of microorganisms. Supply chain programs for sensitive ingredients used without a kill step. Sanitation controls that prevent recontamination. As for chemical hazards, we need to utilize our verified supply chain programs, allergen labeling, sanitation controls to prevent allergen cross-contact. Physical hazards. We will use also supply chain program and also process controls such as X-ray devices or metal detector. And thank you for your attention. That's the end of this module.